And it's just not there yet for women. If she can bring it, she'll get paid. But she has no right to make what her equal over there in the men's league makes in being number. It's condescending. Not to defend these black players who are trying to torture her, but I'm sure not all of them agree with what's being done to her. And some of them are probably offended. She's like, oh, pity the poor black players.
She's 22 years old. I don't know a single commentator out there, Megyn Kelly included, who did not at some point throughout their political career have the wrong perspectives. But for whatever reason, we've decided...
When you think of Caitlin Clark, you think of pure talent, dazzling plays, record-breaking moments, and the infectious energy she's brought to women's basketball. Recently crowned as Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, Clark should be riding high on a wave of celebration. But instead, she finds herself at the heart of a fiery debate, embroiled in accusations, applause, and an unexpected political storm. Why? Well, during her Time interview, Caitlin addressed her success candidly, mentioning something that instantly ignited the internet. I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there's privilege. She openly credited the black athletes who laid the groundwork in women's basketball before her, stating clearly that the league was built largely on their contributions. Suddenly, the cheers turned into jeers. While many praised her honesty and humility, others claimed Clark was caving to societal pressure, branding her remarks as an apology for her whiteness. Among those critics was none other than Megyn Kelly, who unleashed a blistering attack, accusing Clark of bending a knee, suggesting her acknowledgement of privilege was condescending and insincere.
The black players, probably not all of them, but I haven't heard one dissent from what's being done to Caitlin, are rising up against this white player solely because of skin color. It is racist bullying to its core. And when she gets profiled by Time Magazine, instead of just ignoring race and saying, I'm really grateful, thank you. Or, you know what your other option is, Caitlin, is to say, no thanks. If you really mean it, if what you really want is the spotlight on the black players, then don't say you'll sit for the profile. Sorry, Paul, but this is ridiculous. She wants it both ways. She wants to be the person of the year, the athlete of the year, but she wants us to know she feels really bad about it. She's really sorry she's so white, and she really wants the black players' profile. It's like Cinderella. Like, I don't really want to go out with the prince. Please pay attention to these very unattractive stepsisters. That's really what she's saying. I know you don't want to look at them. You really want to look at me, but I feel bad about all the attention, and just take a minute to look at them, because they, after all, did get this castle in the first place that I now am set to rule. No one's buying it. It's insincere. It's condescending. Not to defend these black players who are trying to torture her, but I'm sure not all of them agree with what's being done to her. And some of them are probably offended. She's like, oh, pity the poor black players over here and give them the spotlight for once, as she adorns herself in covers and lengthy feature pieces. The bottom line, there's no one.
Enter Candace Owens, usually aligned politically with Kelly. Owens shocked many when she stepped boldly into the fray to defend Caitlin Clark. Owens, renowned for her fearless approach, passionately reminded everyone that Clark is just 22 years old, navigating a whirlwind of fame and pressure few can comprehend. Candace Owens, show me one commentator, Megyn Kelly included, who at 22 didn't hold views they'd reconsider later. Why are we denying Caitlin Clark the same chance to grow? She's expected to be a flawless hero fighting the mob. That's unrealistic, unfair, and honestly ridiculous.
She's 22 years old. I don't know a single commentator out there, Megyn Kelly included, who did not at some point throughout their political career have the wrong perspectives. But for whatever reason, we've decided Caitlin's not allowed that time to grow. She's not allowed time to change. She's got to be a perfect MAGA candidate and I guess stand up to the entire mob. This girl's literally being bullied, physically bullied, I will say, by the way, on the court. And we know the basis of that is quite racist.
Owens didn't stop there. She exposed a raw, uncomfortable truth that's been swept under the rug. Clark isn't just being verbally attacked. She's being physically bullied on the court, a reality Owens boldly linked to deeper racial tensions simmering beneath the surface. According to Owens, Caitlin Clark isn't seeking controversy. She's simply trying to survive, to thrive in a sport she adores. Imagine being thrust into the spotlight at 22, your every word analyzed, twisted, and weaponized by commentators from all political sides. Owens' defense highlights the very human side of Clark, Young, immensely talented, yet grappling with a weight few could imagine. Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, another influential voice, threw his support behind Clark too, but not without calling out the hypocrisy. In his blunt style, Portnoy argued,
the amount of hatred that Caitlin Clark is getting, not from like average people, average fans like myself who got captivated by her and the way she played and for 2 years have followed her journey and who has elevated women's hoop to a level nobody could ever imagine this quickly. I'm instead talking about former players, talking heads, race baiters. Jameel Hill, race baiter, says the only reason she's getting this coverage, she's white. Every UConn basketball player, Diana Taurasi.
Dave Portnoy says, Caitlin's popularity isn't because she's white. Have you seen her play? She's revolutionizing the sport. Anyone suggesting otherwise clearly doesn't understand basketball. Portnoy didn't mince words when confronting critics from all angles who have co-opted Clark's fame to fit political narratives. He insisted that Clark's acknowledgement of privilege isn't a surrender to woke ideology, but a strategic attempt to deflect controversy, maintain harmony in her predominantly black league, and simply keep playing the sport she loves at the highest level. Indeed, Clark's groundbreaking performances have reignited interest in women's basketball, boosting viewership and filling arenas, transformational feats rarely accomplished by a single athlete. This impact wasn't lost on legendary sports commentator Dan Patrick, who reminded everyone to simply appreciate Clark's greatness rather than weaponize her story politically. As the dust settles around this controversy, one thing becomes strikingly clear. Caitlin Clark never sought to be political. She's never aspired to activism or to court controversy. Instead, her love and passion lie solely on the hardwood, lighting up scoreboards, inspiring countless young athletes, and yes, inadvertently sparking crucial conversations on race, privilege, and society. Critics, supporters, and even former detractors like Al Duncan, who initially bashed Clark, now publicly applaud her transformational impact. Duncan admitted openly her opinions shifted because Clark's talent and influence are undeniable. It's not just about points on a board, it's about changing narratives and pushing conversations that might just lead to genuine, overdue progress. About to take a week off on UN from the socials, but want to weigh in on a hot topic before I do. Caitlin Clark deserved Time Athlete of the YR, and as a member of the W, it automatically amplifies the league. To suggest she's being put on an unfair pedestal because she's being recognized for a truly uncommon and transformational year is absurd. It's like saying, why hand out an MVP when everyone is so important on a team? Both things can be true. Sports always honors individual accomplishments, and there's nothing unfair about that unless it's being used to denigrate others' work. We'll let y'all get loose in the comments, and we'll see y'all in a week. BG to each other. Santa's watching. In this climate, it becomes imperative to recognize the complexity Caitlin Clark faces. On one side, praised as the savior of the WNBA, on the other, criticized for perceived concessions to political pressures. Caught in the middle is a young athlete whose main ambition has always been simply to excel in basketball, a fact that should never be lost amidst political debates. So, what's next for Caitlin Clark? Will the pressure cooker of politics and cultural expectations affect her passion for the game? Or will she rise above it, proving once again that her place in sports history is secure, not because of skin color or controversy, but because of undeniable talent? So far, we've seen Caitlin Clark thrust unexpectedly into the crossfire of America's endless cultural battles. Candace Owens jumped to her defense, urging critics to offer the young superstar grace, while Megyn Kelly unleashed scathing accusations of hypocrisy and bowing to social pressures. But the storm around Caitlin Clark is far from over. More voices, unexpected ones, have entered the arena, raising new, compelling questions. Is Clark's story a cautionary tale about athletes caught in political crosshairs, or a necessary conversation about privilege in sports? Let's dive deeper. Stephen A. Smith, known for stirring the pot and rarely shy with controversy, surprised everyone with his measured, thoughtful praise of Clark. Instead of piling on the criticism, he commended her sincerity and courage for addressing uncomfortable truths head-on. Stephen A. Smith said, "Caitlin Clark owes no one explanations." Yet she chose to acknowledge disparities openly. Her heart's clearly in the right place. Attacking her directly? That's misguided anger, aiming at the wrong target. Smith highlighted the unfairness of burdening Clark with societal battles she didn't start, emphasizing instead her genuine character on and off the court. Sarah Haynes echoed this sentiment, pointing out the unfairness of how Clark has continually been saddled with controversies not of her making. Sarah Haynes predicted that her critics just want her to mess up. It's unfair for Caitlin Clark because she's always saddled with these issues that she doesn't have herself, she suggested, calling back on other occasions where Clark was pitted against other women and reasserting that her stats speak for themselves. Why do we keep forcing Caitlin Clark into these heated debates she didn't ignite? She broke records that stood untouched for decades. Yet every triumph drags her deeper into politics she didn't ask for. Let her celebrate, but amid supportive voices, a provocative claim from Sheila Johnson, owner of the Washington Mystics, shocked everyone. Johnson suggested that Clark's solo recognition as Time's Athlete of the Year deepened racial divisions within the WNBA. Sheila Johnson argued, "So last night, Time magazine with Caitlin Clark is named Athlete of the Year," said Johnson. Why? Couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year? Because of all the talent that we have. Because when we just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings. And so now you're starting to hear stories of racism within the WNBA, and I don't want to hear that. We have got to operate and become stronger as a league and respect everybody that's playing and their talents. This paradox reveals the deeper problem. Prominent voices from every side eagerly project their own narratives onto Clark, exploiting her fame for broader agendas. Gilbert Arenas, former NBA star, powerfully summarized the positive impact Caitlin Clark's spotlight has on everyone.